Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about how can add that style in your React.js, right? How can add that inline style and also how can load some of the style class. I hope it's very much clear to you. So right now here we don't need this. Now friend, in this video, I want to start a new session. It's about that create a component list. So what exactly that means, that create component list? Like before I have already display all that our book list, right? So whatever the things I have done till now, I have already saved all the things in our exercise folder. If you go to that exercise folder and here I have created one of the folder as a React source code. So into the React source code, you can see there is a section 1 and then section 2. So all that resources, that means all that script, you will get it in here. Rather than laterally, I will also push this code to the GitHub. Then you will also get that all that link. Right now, everything I will save in here. That means the React.js related every code I will save section by section in here. You will get everything. Great. So now I want to create that component list. Component list means before I have already did what things like to the estates I have declared one of the books, right? That is one of the property, and into this property I loaded the 3 of this book, one of the book name, another book name, and also there is the alchemist, right? And before I display that things like that, like here I directly loaded one of the component, right? There is a book component 1, there is a book component 2, and there is a book component 3. For the reasons, if you go to our home page, and now you can see it's now display that 3 of this book. But that is not that professional. Like if you have that 100 books, then what exactly you have to do? Then if you actually flow this style, then you have to load that 100 times this component, right? We have to load this component for the 100 times, and also we have to update all that our indexing array value. So it's not that professional. So for solve this issue in React.js, there are also another function as a map function, which I have already discussed about that things with you in JavaScript. Like with this map function, that will be just like as a for loop. Okay, I will actually call one of the map function, and with this map function, you can see our every component is the same component, because here I loaded that book component, that is also book component, that is also book component, right? That is the same component. Now with this map, I want to take only one book component, and then automatically it will be get one by one all that your data. Okay, that means here I have already get that our books, there is a 3 object data, so it's automatically will be loop, and one by one it will be get all the data and visible it in our this book. I know you little bit confused about it. Don't worry, better I show you the live example, then everything will be more clear. It's not much complicated, it's very easy things. Now, like into the render, okay, into the render area, I want to do after that style, okay, after that style and before that return. Here right now we don't need this, but okay, I just make these things in here. So I want to take one of the variable, okay, there is a constant variable, I just name it as a book. Okay, book state. So this book state, now I want to access our data. That means I want to access our this states data. So if you want to access these states, and into this states I have created one of the property as a books, and into this property I have already get all that our data, right? Now I want to access this book. So if you want to access it, then that will be as a this keyword. With this keyword we have to access that state, and then we have to access that book. Simply understand how actually everything work. Like I want to access this book, so here I want to access it with this keyword, and then that will be the state, and into this state I want to access that book property, right? I simply take our book property data, take the things with this variable. Now in our particular this variable, which data actually contain, if you want to check it, you can check it with the console log. Okay, with the console log, I want to display our this book states. Everything will be very clear. As I told you, it's not much complicated. So now if you click as a save all, and now it will be displaying our console log, right? Now if you go click as a refresh, and now if you go to that inspect and go to that console, and into the console you can see it's now perfectly get our 3 of this array data, right? That is a 0 index data, 1 index data, and then 2 index data. So right now I want to map it. Okay, if you now map it like here, That means every our object data now in our particular this position. And I want to do, now I take another constant variable, so that is a constant, and I just name it as a books. Okay, I name it as a books. So into this books area here, I have already get our all that object data, take the things with this variable. Simply understand, friend, it's very much important. One of the things, it's very easy, just simply understand how that functionality actually works. So here I get it every our object data, take the things with this variable. So now here I simply pass it, right? So every data right now, object every data in here, and now I want to run that as a map function. So that is our one of the function. You can see that is one of the function or map or method, whatever you choose. So that is a map, and into this map area here I want to pass one of the parameter. So here I simply pass one of the parameter like as a book. Okay, here I simply pass that book, and also want to create one of the array function. So that is our array function. And now if you want to check it, then everything will be more clear. Like I just open that with the console log. With this console log here, I want to access our two of this property. Like with this book right now we have to access our property name. If you go our property name as a book name, right? So better I copy it, so that will be as a book name. I want to access that book name, and also there is another one as a writer. Better I show you. I paste it another property as a writer. So I copy it, and now that will be our another one as a writer. So now into the console log, what exactly that will be display. Like here, if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, now you can see it's now perfectly get all that our name and then writer name, book name, writer name, book name, and also there is a writer name. Right, that means it's perfectly get all that our data. So now this data we have to display it with some of the component, right? So our component, which component I want to display? I want to display with our book component, right? So now I want to do here, that is our everything. So right now we don't need this. I want to do here, if you want to load this component, that means our book component. So if you want to load it for the first time into the map area, okay, into this map area here, you have to return. Okay, then first of all we have to return, and after that return into the first bracket area here you have to load your component name. So right now I want to load our component as a book component. Okay, friend, simply I loaded this book component. So here, that is, you can see that is our book component. Great. Perfect. So now I want to load our all that name, that means our book name, and also I want to load our writer, because I have already checked it, right? We get all that our book name, and also we get that writer name. So if you want to now load it like into this book area, I want to use that our property name as a book name, right? Our book name will be which one? Into the curly bracket, into this curly bracket. So with this book I have already checked it, right? So with this book I have checked that our book name and then writer name. So now I want to access it. So that will be the book. With this book I want to access that book name. Okay, friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. And also the same for the writer. So I take that writer and writer property, into this writer property every data within our book. So, right, so that is in our map area. I have take everything in particular that book. So into the parameter here with this book I want to access our another property name as a writer. So now I simply loaded this writer. Perfect. Okay, I hope it's very clear, because with this console log I have already checked that as a book and then book name, and I have also checked that writer. So it's perfectly get both of this book name and then writer name. So now I simply pass both of these in our book component, right? So right now we don't need this. I simply close it. So, and after that we have to load this book. Okay, so that is, I have take everything out this total dev. You can see that is also one of the total component dev. So this total component dev, I take it in our which variable? I take it into the books variable, right? So now I want to visible it in our which place? Before I have already loaded everything individually in here, right? So that is actually our appropriate position. So in particular this position, right now I remove everything, and only I want to load with the curly bracket our books. Okay friend, so that is the things will be loaded. That means that is one of the total dev part, that is one of the component. Now this component will be loaded in here, because I have already get everything. I map it and I take the things data in here. So right now everything or whatever the things I will return, and into this return area I return one of the component, and into the component I already passed that our name and then write a name. So now our total this component will be loaded in here by this variable. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So now if you want to check it, click as a save all. Our every data will be the same. Like right now I want to refresh it. Yes, you can see everything is great. Everything is just like that same before. If you want to check it, like here right now I want to change that value. I change that value as a reach to save all. Now go there, click as a refresh. Now you can see it's now updated successfully. If you want to change this, yes, that is also working. Okay, our change state method is also working. So how can do that work? How can load some of the component list with using that map? So map is very important method. Make that sure you practice it. Okay friend, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.